Your Excellencies, Honorable Dean of the Diplomatic Corps, Mr. Secretary General of the ACP Group of States, distinguished ambassadors, dear guests, ladies and gentlemen. It is with great honor and pleasure that I address Your Excellencies to welcome you all to this important event to commemorate the 43rd anniversary of the independence of Angola. I wish to address each one of you to express my appreciation and gratitude for accepting our invitation. Welcome to you all. The independence of Angola was proclaimed on the 11th of November 1975 by its first president, Dr. Agostinho Neto, after 500 years of colonization by the then Portuguese colonial regime and 14 years of struggle for the liberation of the country. This is a date not only for joy, because the Angolans won their freedom and right to decide and draw their own destiny, as well as a sovereign country, but also a moment of reflection, because it was necessary to consent to enormous sacrifices that cost thousands of human lives. So I solemnly greet all the heroes of the motherland who have fallen and allowed this day to be a reality for all Angolans, and bow before their memory that will remain alive in the hearts and in the collective memory of the Angolans. To them, known and anonymous, may I ask you respectfully to observe a minute of silence. Thank you. Your Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, with independence, the new government had gigantic tasks of organizing the state, administration, and society in a view of the achievement of the fundamental and general interests of the people. At the same time, in the diplomatic field, the Angolan government laid foundations for the insertion of Angola in the Concert of Nations, with a policy focused on support and solidarity, active with the liberation movement still fighting for the independence at that time, namely Zimbabwe, Namibia, and South Africa, with whom Angola has always maintained strong relations of solidarity and friendship based on mutual interests. The trajectory of the consolidation of its independence went through several stages in its development, with good and bad moments, as it is the history of any young nation. But the Angolan people knew how to overcome, having even put an end to a fratricidal and long war that delayed the gains of the independence. The country embraced the democratic system with the first multi-party elections held in 1992 and the achievement of final peace in 2002. Angola has an exemplary experience since then, especially regarding the preservation and maintenance of peace, with a constant deepening of national reconciliation and social inclusion that have inspired as well other countries. Excellencies, we entered the third post-independence republic with the election of President João Manuel Gonçalves Lourenço in September 2017, whose motto is to amend what is bad and to improve what is right. It implies that the country needs to take qualitative steps in deepening the democratic process to create a better political environment where the rights and freedoms of citizens are effectively respected, and where the spirit of tolerance and respect for difference are cultivated with legal mechanisms for a real participation of the citizen in the management of the public affairs through the institution of local power. For this reason, His Excellency President João Manuel Gonçalves Lourenço and his executive are carrying out institutional reforms in the political, economic, and judicial fields. Close combat against corruption, money laundering, and traffic of influence are the major priorities of the new executive to create an attractive business environment for new investors while focusing attention on the implementation of programs of macroeconomic stabilization and fiscal consolidation in view to reduce the effects of inflation and regularize the exchange market. Ladies and gentlemen, in its relations with other countries, Angola is committed to an efficient and effective economic diplomacy aimed at expanding and strengthening ties of friendship and cooperation to preserve mutual interests, creating and deepening economic and commercial ties with the implementation of public-private partnerships facilitated for all those who want to invest in Angola. Areas such as agriculture and industry, science and technology, infrastructures, tourism, mining, health and education are among the vital sectors for intervention for investors. The Republic of Angola has established its embassy in the Kingdom of Belgium since 1978, and both countries signed a cooperation agreement in 1983. In turn, the Kingdom of Belgium established its embassy in the Republic of Angola, and numerous Belgian companies are investing and working in several key sectors of Angola's economy. The recent visit of His Excellency President João Manuel Gonçalves Lourenço to the Kingdom of Belgium, to the European Union Council, and to the European Parliament in Strasbourg indicates the willingness of the government of the Republic of Angola to cooperate with the Kingdom of Belgium and with the institutions of the European Union. The meetings held at the highest level with His Majesty King Philip of Belgium and His Excellency the Prime Minister demonstrate the desire of Angola to strengthen relations with this country, and culminated in the visit to the city of Antwerp where meetings with entrepreneurs of the diamond industry, the Port of Antwerp, and the Institute of Tropical Medicine took place, institutions with which Angola intends to increase its cooperation. At the meeting with the business community in Brussels, His Excellency the President of the Republic of Angola, in his speech, invited the participants to promote investments and business in Angola. As a result of this invitation, several companies have visited Angola. As well, a number of Angolan entities have visited the Kingdom of Belgium in order to promote the political and economic relations between the two countries. In addition, in his visit to the European Council, as well as the European Parliament, on the basis of the Joint Way Forward project between Angola and the European Union, the head of state reaffirmed his willingness to cooperate openly with the institutions of the European Union on all topics related to economic development, democracy, and the rule of law. Finally, in his meeting with Dr. Patrick Gomes, the Secretary General of the ACP Group of States, His Excellency the President reiterated Angola's commitment and engagement to the ACP Group at this critical stage of negotiations of the next agreement with the European Union. Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, at a time when Angola is celebrating the 43rd anniversary of its independence and the 16th anniversary of the conquest of peace, we hope that the relations of friendship with the Kingdom of Belgium are at the highest level. As the new ambassador to the Kingdom of Belgium, I would like to express my sincere gratitude to the Belgian authorities, and in particular to His Excellency the Deputy Prime Minister and Minister of Foreign Affairs, Mr. Didier Reynders, who recently visited Angola with a very important delegation and reiterated the significance of our bilateral relations. It was agreed that a joint bilateral commission will meet in the very near future to review our bilateral cooperation and sign new agreements in this area. In this regard, I would like to thank Ambassador Joseph Smith, who has spared no effort to promote a closer relationship with Angola. Finally, may I extend my heartfelt thanks to all of you present in this ceremony and invite you to raise your glasses and toast to the good relations and bonds of friendship and cooperation that unite us all. Long live the Kingdom of Belgium, long live the European Union, long live the ACP Group, viva Angola, and thank you very much for your help.